Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great. I've still been having a great time with Battlefield 6, and just earlier today, we got the official reveal of Battlefield 6 Season 1. And honestly, from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty good. 3 new maps, some new weapons. It's just, it looks like your standard Season 1, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. And based on the trailer's like to dislike ratio and comments, it seems like most people are very excited as well. It's great to see. I honestly can't remember the last time people were super excited for a Battlefield game post-launch, or just so excited for a Battlefield game in general. Now, I say that because obviously we know Battlefield 6 hit an insanely high player count on Steam. The day it came out, it was at over 700,000 people. And about a week ago, yes, I know I'm late to this, but whatever, EA came out and said that Battlefield 6 sold 7 million copies in the first 3 days, making it the fastest selling Battlefield game in the entire franchise. As you can see in this Charlie Intel post right here. And this post got a lot of Call of Duty players very up in their feelings. You know, they're just very upset at the idea of Battlefield selling well and potentially even doing better than Call of Duty. Now, will Battlefield 6 outsell Black Ops 7? I don't know. But what I do know is it doesn't really matter to me that much. At the end of the day, I'm having a great time with Battlefield 6. I'm looking forward to Black Ops 7, at least Zombies in Campaign. And you won't see me getting up in my feelings about which game sells better, unlike the people who we're going to be taking a look at today. But really quickly, before we get into the upset Call of Duty fanboys, if you keep coming back and watching these videos, especially the Battlefield videos, and you haven't subbed yet, please subscribe. I know there's probably some of you who think you subbed, but you didn't, so just double check that. Also, be sure to comment down below how much I sound like Forrest Gump, because I've been getting a concerning amount of comments saying that recently, and I don't know how to feel about it. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and laugh at some Call of Duty fanboys upset that Battlefield 6 is doing well and trying to downplay it. Alrighty, first off, this guy replies, I caught this. Day 1, 747,000 players. Day 5, 474,000 players. Battlefield 6 loses over 250,000 players since launch. Okay, so you do know that Battlefield was released on a Friday. 5 days after launch, when it was at 474,000, was a Tuesday. Obviously, the player count is gonna go down. 1, everybody is gonna be there for the launch of the game. And 2, it's a weekday. Plus, are you saying that 474,000 players is bad? If they kept losing 250,000 players every 5 days, sure, massive issue, obviously. But it's almost like this is exactly what happens with new games that come out and there's a lot of hype for them. There's a lot of players initially, and then the player count drops a few days after the game comes out because the initial hype is over, and guess what? People have lives outside of playing Battlefield. 474,000 players is still insane, especially for one platform. Remember, that is just Steam. That doesn't include PlayStation. That doesn't include Xbox. That doesn't include the EA app, which apparently people still use for some reason. Okay, look, if you're using EA Play Pro, then I understand, but people who just buy the game through the EA app, I don't understand that, but whatever. This really just goes to show how deceptive wording can be. Oh my god, Battlefield 6 loses 250,000 players since launch, and then you realize that all the people, of course, were going to be on the launch day. And naturally, during a work week, the player count is going to fall. It's not like the game dropped to like 50,000 players or something like that. 474,000 on Steam alone is still pretty damn good, especially when you consider that the game is currently sitting at number 3 for concurrent players on Steam. Anyway, let's continue on. And it's crazy how all those 7 million people are going to stop playing it when BO7 comes out.
Are you sure?
All 7 million people are just gonna stop playing the game. As one of those 7 million people, I can confirm, no. I will not stop playing Battlefield when BO7 comes out. Will I take a little break? Probably, because I'm gonna want to get on the new zombies grind and all that. And of course, I gotta play the co-op campaign with my boys. But I'm definitely not gonna stop playing Battlefield 6. I'll take a temporary break. Also, this is probably the worst possible year you could have said this. Like, if Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 6 were coming out the same year, then sure, maybe you would have had a point because there was actually hype for Black Ops 6, but there is really not a whole lot of hype for Black Ops 7. I'm pretty sure a lot of people this year are buying Battlefield 6 instead of Black Ops 7. Like, this is the year that Battlefield is back and COD is crap, so people are just gonna stick with Battlefield. Now, again, personally, I will be an enjoyer of both games, but the only people I would say who are gonna stop playing Battlefield as soon as BO7 comes out are the COD fanboys and diehards like yourself, and especially the COD streamers who are just hopping on Battlefield for the sake of the trend. Cough, cough, phase swag. Go watch my last video if you haven't yet. By the way, thank you all so much for 90,000 views. But yeah, the only people who are gonna completely drop Battlefield for COD are the fanboys. Everybody else will either stick to Battlefield or play both. The only way everybody's gonna drop Battlefield is if they absolutely butcher the live service, which thankfully I don't think is gonna happen. But who knows? These days everything is too good to be true, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's continue. Scammed everybody with trailers and streamers, 3 out of 10 game at max. Genuine question, okay? How? No. I'm serious. What about the game is a scam? Because you said we were scammed by the trailers and the streamers, so how did the trailers scam us exactly? We were shown the game, we were shown what we were getting with the game, we got the game. Not to mention we got to play the beta for the game, and the final game has stayed mostly true to the beta outside of the fact that they nerfed the broken movement. Like, is the scam in the room with us? Because I don't see it anywhere. If you're disappointed with Battlefield 6, that's one thing, but calling it a scam is crazy. 2042, now that was a scam, mainly because, you know, the thing didn't work at launch. You spent $70 on a game you couldn't even play, or at least, you know, well, without a million issues. That right there is a scam. Battlefield 6 did everything it promised, and it functions perfectly fine. Apparently, that's not good enough for this guy. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, let's keep going. 3.5 million copies on PC sold, and that was 56.7% of total sales. 3.5 million equals 0.567 times X. X equals 3.5 divided by 0.567. X equals 6.175. Total copies sold since launch is 6.18 million. Did this dude just try to actually the official numbers given by EA? In case you guys don't know what he's referring to with this math, there was an estimation that came out saying that 3.5 million copies of Battlefield 6 were sold on PC, and that accounted for 56.7% of the sales. That was an estimation by a third-party company. Now, EA has come out and officially given us the sales numbers. Over 7 million in 3 days. That's not like players, like what Xbox likes to do or anything like that, where it's like, oh, well, we're gonna give you the player count, but we're not gonna give you the actual sales numbers. No. That 7 million is people who purchased the game, and EA themselves said it, and this guy just tried to actually them and tell them that their own numbers were wrong because somebody else's estimation was wrong. Now that I think about it, this comment just embodies Twitter. Somebody makes something up, okay, we believe that. The truth comes out, no, we still believe the thing that was estimated or made up. This is so sad. EA, you guys don't know your own numbers. This random guy on Twitter who knows how to do basic algebra just showed you were wrong. Actually, wait, I just realized something. I just did the math, like, I redid his division. 3.5 divided by 0.567 rounds up to 6.173, not 6.175. This dude got his own misinformation wrong. Can somebody please ask Grok to beat this guy to death with hammers? Thank you. Anyway, let's continue on. Modern Warfare 2 2022 had over 11 million copies sold. Okay. And it was a remake of the most beloved Call of Duty game of all time. I say remake loosely, by the way. The reimagining. And, oh, by the way, Battlefield 6 is way better than Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 sucked. And it's the go-to game that I reference when I say that sales don't mean that a game is good. The game was just marketed extremely well. I'll give them credit for that, but the game itself was bad. Battlefield 6 is so much better from a multiplayer aspect. It's just the campaign obviously sucked, but I don't think anybody actually expected a Battlefield campaign to be good. Not to mention, again, this is the fastest selling Battlefield game of all time. 7 million in 3 days is nothing to scoff at just because another game did better in the past. People like this have the whole, oh, but can he beat Goku energy? It's like, hey, here's a really strong character in anime or just in fiction. Oh, but can he beat Goku? I don't know. Like, who cares if he can beat Goku? Jotaro definitely cannot beat Goku. I still like him a lot more than Goku. Please proceed to argue in the comments about who would win, Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or Goku. I think that would be very funny to read. Alrighty, let's look at one more. BO7 will clap that fire emoji. Honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I don't know if BO7 is actually going to outsell Battlefield this year. I've seen a lot of people definitively say, look, even though I enjoy Battlefield a lot, I still think BO7's going to outsell it. I really don't know, because look, people are so fed up with COD and nobody seems to be interested. But at the same time, there's always that massive trash talk about COD every year, and then it always ends up selling super well. But then the devs are also listening to the community, and they're like removing skill-based matchmaking and whatnot. And I understand they're only doing that because of Battlefield 6. But regardless, they're still doing it. So I really don't know. I'm not going to definitively say one or the other, but I will say I think it's foolish to claim that BO7 is going to clap Battlefield 6. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. Play the games you enjoy. Have fun with them. Trust me, I love the competitive spirit between Battlefield and Call of Duty, especially with the communities. But whining and crying because one is selling well is just pathetic. Remember, audience, be a fan, don't be a fanboy. But yeah, guys, anyway, with all that being said, that is all I've got for this video. And be sure to let me know in the comments, are you looking forward to Black Ops 7? Are you enjoying Battlefield 6? Are you excited for Season 1 of Battlefield 6? Maybe you're like me and you're enjoying Battlefield 6 and you're looking forward to BO7. I don't know. Let me know. And guys, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on the gaming channel for gaming streams, and consider becoming a channel member if you want Discord access and awesome emotes. And I will catch you all next time.